Welcome to my complete collection video. It is August 8th, 2025, and it is the day before my birthday. And my plan for many years to come is to just every year give you an update on my fire alarm collection. So, this is my very first year as a fire alarm collector. I started back in January, and I've grown this collection quite a bit, as you can see. It's been a really fun hobby. I've really enjoyed this. So, without further ado, let's get started. I've sorted these all by company, and I've also tried my best to, put them in chronological order, but I've probably got a few wrong, so just bear with me here. So first off, we have our Edwards Pre-Integrity. This is a 792-7A-006. So that's a Pre-Integrity. I really like this thing. It is probably my favorite alarm that I own. This is a Edwards Integrity 757-8A-T. This is an Integrity remote strobe, or a 405-7A-T. Here we have several EST Genesises. This one's a horn strobe without fire lettering. This one is a horn strobe with fire lettering. This one is a remote strobe with fire lettering. This one is a horn strobe. It's white, no fire lettering, but I do have it on a trim plate that does have fire lettering. This is a ESG Genesis speaker strobe, red with no fire lettering, and then this is an ESG Genesis speaker strobe, white with fire lettering. This is a ESG Genesis low frequency horn strobe with fire lettering, and then white low frequency horn only without fire lettering and without a strobe. And then last for EST, well, we still have pull stations to get to later. This is a red ESG Genesis LED horn strobe. Over here we have a Simplex, I don't even know the model of this, but this is a strobe plate, not a light plate, with a horn on it. Again, don't know the model of either the horn or the strobe plate. Someone can do that for me. This is a Simplex 4904-9137 remote strobe. That is probably one of the worst alarms ever. It is so hard to take off a wall, but I do like the way it looks. It is very aesthetically pleasing. This is a Simplex 4903-9239 electromechanical horn strobe. This is a Simplex 4904-9331 SmartSync remote strobe. And then this is a 4903-9425 selectable horn strobe. I heavily recommend these for collectors because there's a switch on the inside of it that lets you choose between a free run strobe and a SmartSync strobe. So, very good for collectors. Here we have a 4906-9153 Simplex True Alert speaker strobe, an iconic speaker strobe. And then here we have a Simplex 4906-9130 ceiling mount horn strobe. This is SmartSync, and it is 2-wire, so I don't think I'm ever going to be able to actually get this to sound unless I buy myself a SmartSync device or SmartSync module, which I don't think I'm going to. Now moving on to system sensor, this is a MA-SS24. So the horn is the MA and the strobe is the SS. Not a mass, but an MA-SS. This is an SS-24 wall mount. This is an SS-24, but a ceiling mount. This is really cool. Probably one of the cooler devices I own. Now this is the system sensor mass that we all know and love, and that's because the strobe and the horn are inseparable. So this is also 12 volts, so it's a mass 12. This is a SpectraAlert Classic, SpectraAlert Advance, SpectraAlert Advanced Low Frequency horn strobe. Oh yeah, all of those are horn strobes. L-Series horn strobe, and an L-Series remote LED strobe. Yeah, just realized I probably should have had my flashlight on this whole time so my shadows aren't affecting everything. But this is a Wheelock 7002T, and this is a Wheelock 7004T. The difference between these two is that this one takes 120 volts alternating current instead of your usual 24 volts direct current. So I've actually never heard this thing sound before, and I don't think I ever will, but it is still cool to have in my collection. Over here I have a Wheelock MT. This is an MT-24-LSM. It's a vertical strobe, so it's one of the older MTs. Here we have a Wheelock RS-241575 vertical remote strobe. And then here we have a Wheelock MT horizontal strobe, and this is a MT-121575W. This one is pretty cool because you get to select between 12 and 24 volts via that jumper, if it would focus right there next to the tone selection switches. Okay, moving on, we've got the Wheelock ZNS-MCW. This is not an NS. Horn strobe. We got the Wheelock Exceeder horn strobe in red, Wheelock Exceeder remote strobe in white, and then a ceiling mount Wheelock Exceeder remote strobe also in white. Moving on to Gentex, we got the GXS, I think this is? Yes, GXS-4-1575WR remote strobe. I always thought these were weird looking, I don't know why. Got the Gentex Commander 2, Gentex Commander 4 in white, and a Gentex speaker strobe that was actually rebranded by National Time. It's a very weird speaker strobe, but yeah. It is a SG-CXS30Z, which is a very interesting, whatever that is. Moving on to Space Age, we've got a Space Age speaker strobe. I think this is a VA4 strobe. Another VA4 strobe with a Space Age horn on it. And a Space Age VA3, my bad. VA3 remote strobe. Also, these are all very weird looking devices. Moving on, we got Potter, except none of these are Potter nor Amsico, but they are rebrands. This is a Signal Division Select A horn strobe, and this is a Mircom remote strobe. It looks like a horn strobe, but there's actually no horn in there, so this is a remote strobe. Yeah. And then last but not least, a Cerberus Pyrotronics. I'm forgetting the model of this, but this is a very old horn strobe. I believe this was manufactured by Faraday, and Cerberus Pyrotronics rebranded it. I think this is really cool looking, especially with all the rust and stuff just surrounding it. This thing sounds awful. Like, it is probably the worst conditioned horn I have. But it's pretty funny. Also really cool to have in my collection. So yeah. And that is it for all of my audio / visual devices. And these are all of my pull stations that I own. I only own a handful of pull stations, but let's go down. Here we have an Edwards 270-SPO pull station. This is actually my very first fire alarm device ever. So that's really cool. Like, very first pull station. I got this before all my alarms. And yeah. This is a Edwards 278. Wow, 278, not Aish. What the hell is Aish? 278 Siga. This is a Firelight BG12L, and then just a regular Firelight BG12. This is an L because it's a lock variant of it. Unfortunately, this BG12 does not work anymore. I think partially because of me. It was already in rough condition, like it was hard to get the switch to work. However, I went overboard and tried literally forcing the switch down or whatever, and it is loose in there and no longer works. This is a Firelight. Wow. Probably should have put this before the other Firelights because it's a BG8. We have an FCI MS2, really odd pull station, but really cool. And then a Siemens dual action pull station. I've actually never tested this before, specifically because it's addressable. But a very cool pull station. I do hope to actually use this one day, maybe once I convert it. And finally, over here, we've got a Simplex dual action T-bar and a Simplex plastic single action T-bar, which is addressable, however, I converted it. And then, of course, my final fire alarm device, the fire alarm control panel, the System Sensor PDRP-2001. Now, I did say, if you remember from my first system test, this is technically a PDRP 2001E. The difference between a 2001E and just a regular 2001 is that the 2001E takes 240 volts alternating current, while the regular 2001 only takes 120 volts alternating current. But I converted this into a regular 2001 because my house only supplies 120 volts. So literally all I did was just swap out the power supply to make this a 2001. And now it runs on 120 volts. I love this panel so much. I've had so much fun with it so far, and I hope to keep having fun with it for many, many years to come. So yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. Please wish me a happy birthday in the comments, or else I will be very angry at y'all. I hope you all enjoyed this collection video, and I hope y'all enjoy the future collection videos that are to come. But yeah. Wow. First year of fire alarm collecting. Pretty cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye. Now, it is currently 2:58 a.m. as I'm editing this. It is my birthday today, actually. But I just wanted to say before I end the video that thank you all so much for your support. It means so much to me. My System Test 2 has reached 3,000 views. System Test 3 is already at 1,000 and still going strong. It's crazy. I never thought my channel would take off, especially this quickly. I've only been uploading for like a month now, and it's been Really cool. So yeah, again, thank y'all so much for your support. Thank y'all for 50 subs. Yeah. Have a good day, guys.